It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Nøgne in fabulous Norway. And this is a bottle of their Holmens Utepils Lys lager. Now, if I've made a terrible pronunciation with this, then I do apologise. It is, where are we? 5.2% ABV. 27.5 IBUs, so relatively decent bitterness to this lager. There's the bottle cap, 500 milliliter bottle. What's really interesting for me with Nøgne, or until recently anyway, is that they've kept their bottles, or they've kept their beer in bottles. They've kind of swerved the canned craft beer movement, which I find very interesting. Little bit of smoke on the bottle opening, beer in the glass. I haven't reviewed a lager in like well over a week, and when I seen this in the cupboard I was like, oh, I mean, look at that. I was thinking to myself, I haven't reviewed a lager in a while, I gotta get a lager done. Only because it's a beautiful sunny day here today in the UK. We're finally in like the full throes of spring. It's warming up, the sun's out. And I think when you can get a really good lager, hopefully this is going to be a really good lager, but when you get a really good lager in these times of kind of like warming up from a really long winter, there's nothing quite like it, is there? There's nothing quite like it. The same as autumn, winter months, sitting by the fire in a relatively dark evening. Well, they are dark, aren't they, in the winter? Sitting next to a fire with a porter or a stout, equally as satisfying. I love it all at the same time, and that's why I love beer so much, is because whatever season you're in, cold, damp, warm, sunny, hot, there's always a beer for the climate. Climate. There's always a beer for the climate. There really is. So good levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. There's quite a bit of sediment in here, but that's perfect for a lager for me. Lots of suspended sediment. That's perfect because that means flavour. That means none of the flavours escape from the beer. So let's get the aroma then on this. Yeah, looking like a lager. It's a straw-coloured, amber-coloured beer. Nice and hoppy. Lemon, spicy, peppery. But then you're picking up that malt as well. That little bit of sweet, crisp malt in there. Smells like a fantastic pils. Lys lager, well, might be a pils, might not be a pils. Smells like a pils. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that is tremendous. That is fantastic. There was a time where, and there still is a time in the winter time, where I'm able to put my beer on the shelves, drink my beer from the shelves between 8 and 10 degrees. You're picking up all the flavours of the beer. You're picking up fantastic mouthfeel and creaminess and richness. But then when you hit, as you know, you might be watching this review in months' time, but I'm hitting it kind of March, UK March time, where the spring is really coming into force now. We've got some beautiful mornings here in the UK, blue skies. If you're thinking to yourself, I want something cold now, I'm ready for cold beer season. And I never used to be a really I never used to be massively enthusiastic about cold beer. This is not freezing cold. I'd say it's about 6 or 7 degrees. But it's just nice to look out the window, sun shining. My hand is cold, holding onto a coldish beer. You're still able to pull a lot of the flavours out from the beer, being a lager, being that it's meant to be served cold. And then flavours are crisp, lemon, a little bit of sweet malt in there, a spicy pepperiness from the bitterness, lovely bitterness on the back end from that, what did we say, 27 IBUs? So a nice bitterness. Great drinkability, really refreshing. It's very good. It's very, very good. I could drink pints of this. And being, what do we say? 5.2% ABV. That used to be your stellar strength. 5.2% ABV used to be your stellar strength. And you could drink a few pints of Stella. Yeah, it was one of them beers that caught up on you. It was one of them beers. They called it all the names that they called it for a reason. You know. But I reckon what I'm trying to say here is this beer has such fantastic drinkability. The water's soft, that lovely, fantastic Norwegian water. Beautiful and soft and crisp. Wonderful drinkability. Fantastic bitterness on the back end. Fantastic drinkability. If I had 4 bottles of this, I reckon I could sit in the garden in this very spring and just sit and enjoy 4 pints of this. But I reckon I'd probably fall asleep in the chair. It's one of those beers that you can drink it quite quickly because it's drinking so well. It's so refreshing. It's so lovely. And it's just one of those beers that you might find yourself, 2 hours later, you wake up, you're like, well, that was all right, wasn't it? Little nap in the garden in the sun. It's one of those beers. And I've always been a fan of Nøgne. Nøgne they were, and they still are, I think, one of the best brewers out of Norway. They were the first Norwegian brewery to really make it, to really kind of like, everyone all over Europe knew about Nøgne. Certainly the UK market knew about Nøgne. They had a beer called Two Captains IPA back in the day. Amazing beer. They did a barrel-aged series of beers as well, which was equally as good. The Nøgne Reserve series, which is like Imperial Stouts, which are equally fantastic. And they're just an all-round solid brewery. And what happened with Nøgne was, and I'll be quick with this, what happened is that they got bought out by a larger company in Norway. And because they got bought out by a bigger company, everybody thought they were like this great big brand now, this great big kind of like, they were just going to become another kind of wishy-washy kind of beer company. But for me, Nøgne have held on to their quality. They really have held on to their quality. You just got to taste this lager, for argument's sake. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. Right, okay, so ingredients: local water, malted barley, hops and yeast. Nøgne, fantastic brewery. I'm going to rate this. Serve at 6 degrees. I'm probably drinking it at about 5 or 6, I reckon. Perfect temperature. I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.